All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about real music and doing it in real time for some real people out here, just like you right there, and just like me here. All right, the Steve Perry rumors are flying again. So I'm going to talk about this. Before I get to the Steve Perry stuff, here's Lone Rider and their album Down in the Dust. Really amazing album. If you're into the old version of Bad Company, you've got Simon Kirk, by the way, playing drums on this. So that's pretty legit with Simon Kirk and the great Steve Overland handling the vocals and is a huge fan of Paul Rogers. And he puts that Paul Rogers touch on the vocals. Super well produced, great songwriting. You're going to hear all kinds of Bad Company isms on this, so definitely check Lone Rider out. That's their third album, courtesy of Escape Music. Now, speaking of Escape, Journey, right? Well, their biggest album, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, Neal Schon is out there, and he is sending interesting tweets out there on X. A few days ago, he shared a photo of himself and Steve Perry, and he added a winking emoji. Fans were thrilled and began speculating about a possible reunion. Now, I've said on this channel before, or I've said before, not necessarily on this new channel, but I've said when there are lulls in activity for certain people, certain bands, they tend to find ways to keep themselves relevant, and people will talk about it and say, oh, did you hear what Neal Schon did? You think Neal Schon and Steve Perry are going to get back together again? That's what the fans are doing right now. This is very similar to a Pavlovian technique. You ring the bell, the dog starts to salivate. The fans in this case are salivating over the idea that Steve Perry and Neal Schon could work together again. But every time this happens, Steve Perry goes silent. He doesn't say anything about this. He did an interview a few years ago where he basically said, I don't want to have coffee with Neal Schon because he basically just wants to work with me again and he doesn't want to be my friend. And it was more important for Steve Perry to have Neal Schon be his friend than to try to get back together, which of course would certainly be very interesting to the music world if Steve Perry and Neal Schon were hanging out together again. You know what? If this were to happen, I would get the Escape lineup back together again. Bring in Ross Valerie again. Bring in Steve Smith again. Go full Escape, right? You've got to do it. Because if you're going to do one more go round as Journey with Steve Perry, it would make a lot of sense. But, you know, Perry has pretty much ditched the arena rock sound. He's doing these crooning Christmas songs. It's a completely different thing. It doesn't mean he can't pivot back to, the harder stuff. But, Rod Stewart did this, did the Great American Songbook, volume 1, 2, 3, 11. He did quite a few of those. Or maybe he's only done a couple. I don't know. But the point being is Rod was able to kind of pivot back to rock and roll and kind of go back and forth. I don't know if Perry wants to go back to singing arena rock in the style of Journey. I just don't think he wants to do that. Now, one thing that would change everything is if Perry posted a picture of Schon and himself, that would be breaking news. See, Journey's had a history. If you haven't been following this, Journey's had a history of putting stuff out there and then having the fans react, gauging the reaction. And then do they keep it going? Do they feed it more? Do they pull back on it? Is it a loser? Is it getting them more eyeballs? Because that's what this is all about. And people are talking about Journey again. And the fans are saying, hey, that would be amazing. Maybe even a future collaboration between Neal and Steve as a bonus for us fans. How cool would that be? Now, I will say this about the fans. The fans have been waiting and waiting. Another fan said here, before it's too late, I've said that in videos. I've said, what are you guys waiting for? Now I get it. I'm guessing that maybe Steve Perry doesn't have the same feelings towards Neal Schon that's, Neal Schon might have toward him. That's just me guessing. I don't know. But this doesn't mean there's going to be a reunion. Every time something like this happens, everybody says, reunion time. This is it. They're finally going to do it. Why would he post a picture? He's probably talking to Steve behind the scenes. He's negotiating something. No, I doubt it. Folks, it would be awesome from my standpoint because I could do lots of content related to that. But I have to come up here and tell everybody, look, I don't think this is going to happen. It looks good on paper. It looks like, hey, these guys finally will get back together again and do something with or without Journey. I think that's what Neal Schon has said in the past. But I don't think these guys have seen one another since the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And there was probably a 19-year absence from those guys seeing each other as well before the Hall of Fame. Since 1998. Perry quit the band in 98 and he was done. And, it's great publicity. So sure, you tweet out a picture and then you get the reaction and fans are really excited about a reunion. But again, like so many other times, I've got to throw cold water on this. I don't see Perry changing his great lifestyle. And I don't see him going back, especially with Neal Schon. There is a possibility, because Perry talked about this, that he might do something on his own. And it would probably be next year. Hopefully he's got some new studio material. He's had plenty of time to work on this. He's had years to put together another album after Traces. And my guess is he's got enough material to put out a decent quality album. But the next question is, will he tour behind that album if he does release it? And my guess is it would be next year. Perry seems to like to release his albums in the fall to take advantage of the Christmas buying frenzy. We'll see what happens, folks. But as far as Neal Schon and Steve Perry working together again, I don't know. I don't see it happening. It would be pretty just miraculous and interesting, and it would be great conversation for this channel and for many other people. So anyway, that's the scoop on the Perry Schon thing. All right, Lone Rider, Down in the Dust. There's the album cover. What's the inside look like? It looks awesome. This is a great album with great musicians, and I've been waiting for this for a couple of years, and it's finally here, and it was worth the wait. If you haven't checked out Lone Rider's other albums, you really should do that. This could easily be on a rock station today, but we know, as Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story about the music industry. Anyway, folks, my name is Dave. This is the Harmless Dave channel. Thanks for being here. If you can support this channel, Patreon or through Buy Me a Coffee, there will be links in the description of the video. But I appreciate those who have followed me from place to place, and hopefully this will be something that eventually begins to gain some momentum. So thanks again. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well, and I'll see you soon.